Hello everyone. Happy Monday. So, yeah, I'm extremely tired right now. But I figured I could still squeeze in some Game Jam progress. Probably it's gonna be a short stream because I want to make sure I, get some shut eye a little bit earlier tonight because I haven't gotten much sleep last night. But yeah, so before that, we're gonna, we worked on pixel art a couple days ago. We got some. I think the sprites turned out pretty well, and this time I kind of want to focus on like refining the drag and drop system because what I've been doing kind of like on and off is looking at different ways different people have been implementing similar systems, and I think that the way that I have it is kind of not the best. So I kind of want to try and refine it a little more and get it to a point where, well, hopefully getting it to a point where I can just start dragging and dropping items into the actual boxes here, rather than just moving the boxes themselves. So we're gonna do like a couple minor things first. So you might be able to tell that I made a prefab for this item box here. So I think, yeah, so clicking that just kind of brings that over here, which we don't really need. So, especially because I got to thinking, like, if this is gonna, if we're gonna keep using this and just updating little bits with it, it doesn't really make sense to do it, especially when there's so many on the screen right now. It doesn't make sense to just do it for every single one individually. So what I'm going to kind of start off with is just just kind of fixing this up a little bit, using the prefab, making sure that I have all the settings kind of where I want them to be, and then just kind of redoing all of these using that prefab, so that way when I just edit the prefab, it'll update to all of them at once. It's going to save a ton of time in the long run. So I think there's really not much that needs to be changed. So something like, yeah, so these are just the sprites here. And then, yep, and then these are just the item box itself. Yeah, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kinda delete, well, I don't want to delete everything. Let's kind of do it in bunches. So we'll do kind of like that. And then we'll just kind of update it from there. And then we can just kind of take these. So that's 2 and 3 again. And we'll just kind of work our way up from there. So let's get rid of these. And now we can just kind of do it like that. And so it should be kind of relatively quick. I guess might as well copy the original ones. Okay. And which ones are next? These ones? off there, and then we just need 4 more from here. Okie doke. So which ones are next here? That's kind of a weird way to do that, but that's okay. All right. I think that's all I need there. We can always change it later if we need to. Alright, so what about these? Alright, so that's just those. No, I guess we can just kind of do that. I think it was like that. And then from there, okay. So some of these we're just using as placeholders, but makes it a little easier, I think. Now, alright, so let's maybe we should start making some folders too. So let's make a folder for sprites. You can just kind of put those in there. We'll make a folder for scripts. Put mouse handler in there. And let's make a folder for prefabs. Neat. Now we're slightly organized. Okay, and maybe we'll do some more prefabs in the future. Can we do folders here? Kind of just bunch stuff together. Yeah, well, it's not super important right now. I can investigate that later. Let's see. Okay, so what we should do is we should look at the mouse handler. And let's actually let's go in here so we can just get a better sense of what it's using there. So let's open that up. I just gotta... There we go. Okay, so what we're gonna do is let's see what we actually need and what we can kind of, you know, what we can kind of get away with not using for the moment, and then we'll just kind of see what to do from there. So one of the things that I think I wasn't doing the best here is, let me show you what I mean. So if we have ourselves okay, so like right here, the target the target location where the object's supposed to be dragged to, I'm using the raycast to find the spot, which has some problems, because if I'm using the raycast, it has to collide with something, which means it needs to be with a collider, which means the only way for me to kind of track that with this is to make the I want to say the bounding box. I don't think that's the right phrase. The collider. To make the collider really big like this, which is something we don't really want to do. Because especially if we're trying to drag and drop into something else, if that collider is just taking up the entire screen, that's not going to be... It's not going to be good. So, what I think an easy fix is to just try and get the mouse position directly, and then use that to put the item where it needs to be. So I found some tutorials online, so I think all we really need to do is, let's comment this out. That's not the right slash. There it is. And we'll just kind of, you know what? We'll just comment out this entire line, and we will just do target location dot position is, I believe it's, kind of looking at my reference over here, it's just input dot mouse position. Okay. So this is just on drag. So let's see. Let's change one thing at a time before we change a ton of different stuff and then realize we have no idea what's, you know, what is causing problems for us. So let's save this. We'll go back into Unity, and we should just be able to drag and drop these the same way as normal. Let's test it out. Okay. Well, that's not working as well as I thought. See, we already broke something. But now we know what broke. So, just to double check, We'll go back in here. We'll comment this out. And we'll put that back in. And we'll see what happens. Okay, so it looks like these are kind of not quite aligned to the grid correctly. So that's an easy fix, though. You can kind of drag things behind these objects, too. So that's kind of interesting. Alright. So that first part, well, for this at least, all we have to do is just, whoops. So let's just take this and all this. Okay, that part should be fixed. So it should be lining up now. Yeah, okay. Maybe? Oh, is it off in the other direction as well? Okay. Once again, that is an easy fix. We'll just take all of these. And we'll push them somewhere else. Like that way. There we go. I wonder why I wasn't getting lined up correctly before. Okay, so let's go back. So, alright. So this is clearly world position. What if we put a dot here? Unless there's something we can do with, like, oops, whoa, jeez. Eat key press on text field focus. That is very specific and not what I want. So what I want to do is, unfortunately, you folks can't see too much of what I'm doing here, but I basically want to see if there's anything that allows me to get the location. Maybe... Let me look at my reference one more time. Alright, so what should be... Alright, what options do we have for event data? Okay, so I think what might be the problem is that this input.mouse position, I think that's useful mainly with like UI, like Unity UI components, and I don't have that implemented. So if we wanted to try and do that, we'd have to try and implement some other stuff, and I'm not sure exactly how that'll work out. So one thing we can try is we can see what happens when we do, excuse me. So what happens if we just leave it like that? Ooh, excuse me. So I'm just wondering if this is specific to the object, or if anything that has this sort of script will be applied to it. And so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment out the size changes that I have. These. And keep I'll keep this the way it was, and I'll just change that, and just to test it out. So we'll save that. And let's see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, it kind of snaps to a specific position if I go too fast. Looks like it's right there actually. But as soon as I like mouse over something else with it, goes back to working there. So I think. So how can we use this? Well, not specifically that part, but how do we use this to our advantage, I mean? Or do we need to? Okay, so maybe maybe what we can do is just have, so we don't have to worry about changing the size of the bounding box. What if we have something like that tutorial I saw did, was they had a canvas in the background. So what if we made like a canvas type object to just kind of sit in the background and say, hey, you can do mouse stuff here. So I think that'll be what we want. Let me double check though. So that'll find the world position and all that. Maybe we could have even like an if statement here. All right, let's change one thing at a time and kind of go from there. So that should be fine. All right, so what we're gonna do we're just going to make a new object. So we'll call this background canvas. So we'll just set this at 0, 0, -10. And then we will add Box Collider 2D. And the size is going to be 1. by 400. So, okay. So if this works the way I think it does, with just adding that, we should now be able to drag across the whole part of the screen, basically. Maybe? Alright, so I can't grab anything. Maybe, what if that's positive? Okay. Alright, so that kind of... Oh, alright. So that kind of fixes that. And so now, what should happen is basically when we have these different objects, we have ourselves this canvas that's in the background, and we have, so that allows us to kind of drag and drop wherever we need to. And we can also, because these yellow squares are in front of that, that will allow us to just kind of, because if we're doing a raycast, it's looking at the topmost layer. So that's going to be saying like, hey, this is why I'm able to click that and not, the background that's underneath it. So that's going to help us out a little bit there. Okay. So that's good. So what we're going to do, we don't need that. That's the drag. And, oh, wait. Let's say if we have event data dot, oh, let's just, here's a shortcut. So this is just going to 0, 0. So maybe what we'll do is we'll say I don't know if this is going to work. Well, maybe just so what I'm trying to do is saying like, oh, if the position is exactly this, no, wait, that isn't gonna work actually. So the reason why is because this is saying, hey, if this, because what I wanted it to do is to say, if the x, y, and z are exactly the same as this other vector 3, then it'll work out the way, but what I really want is, hey, if the x and the y are both 0, or maybe the z, I don't know. We'll say x and y are both 0, then don't do anything. do instead is something like this. So if the, and we have to put the F here because it's a float, but if the X and the Y are both 0, then we should do nothing. So what we really want is both of these should be not 0. So as long as X and Y aren't both 0, just to make it a little easier to read, we'll put this in here. Excuse me. Then we change the position. So otherwise, there won't be any updates. Okay, what else do we need? We don't need to change the size here. Don't need to change the size there. So obviously we don't really want the boxes to move, but just to get a sense of it, of getting just the dragging mechanic done, and then we'll kind of work with things from there. So let's see if that helps us. Because it's going to be annoying if things just kind of snap to the background. Well, sorry, snap to 0, 0. Let's test it out. Aha! This is what I wanted. So you see how I'm dragging my mouse off screen. It's not going out to 0, 0. It's pausing, basically. But if I release it outside, then it does kind of snap back to 0, 0. Even if I kind of reset it there. Okay, so that's minor. Let's see what we can do to fix that. Oh, wait, let's just do a check on the end of the drag. On drag end, let's copy this, paste it there, copy that, paste it there. But wait, is that really what we want though? No, that's not going to fix the issue. Okay, I think I know what to do. We still kind of want this. So what we want is, if it's not, okay, this is, we'll change this a bit. If it is at 0, 0, we want to do something. If it's not, then we snap to grid. I think what we need is a reference a private variable so we want to keep track of its previous position. So what we're going to do is when we begin our drag, then we'll say previous position equals target location dot position, I guess. Now what we'll do is we're gonna have to test this because I'm not sure if I know it says on begin drag. I don't know if it'll always process before the on drag command. We will see. So let's do. Ooh. So if it is at 0, 0, meaning, hey, we're ending our drag off screen, then what we'll do is we'll say, hey, it's off screen, so we'll snap back to where we were. And we can do this. This is actually good because we can use this sort of thing for the items themselves. So when we get around to implementing that, which I have an idea of how to do it. So if we're just if it's off screen when we're in the drag, we just snap back to where we were. If not, then hey, we're in the world space. So let's just go and snap to grid. And this is gonna change as well because we want to look at, is it over a valid box we could drop the item into? And I think, well, hopefully this doesn't have any issues. Alright, let's test it out real quick. So, alright, so let's drag it here. And the drag goes back there. Well, is it doing that every time? It looks like it. Awesome. Neat. Okay, so that's functioning properly. That is good. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to look at before I start to try and play with actually having the items implemented and not just the boxes? I still don't know if I need this, but I'm going to keep it for now. sure if I need anything else here. I don't think I need anything else right now. Okay, so I just realized I didn't put that up there. Sorry about that, but I don't think I really changed anything. I wasn't sure if I still needed that. I might not need a lot of these, actually, but we'll have it for now. Okay. So what do we do next? We should try... okay, so maybe what we can do is we can try importing those item sprites I made the other day and seeing if we can just slice them up into the appropriate pieces. So I will grab those. So let's here we are. It's beautiful sprites we made the other day. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. Oh, hold on. So, okay, so if we look right here, these are 32. Yeah, we'll just do 32, kind of copy the settings, center, yep. Linear, so we want point, no filter. So what is the difference between single and multiple here? Kirby Superstar Programmer? Not yet. I was thinking about making a tool-assisted speedrun of Kirby Superstar, though. But maybe eventually. Right now, I'm just working on this Game Jam game. I'm trying to figure out how Unity works. So, thanks for coming on by, Poochzors. I think you're the first one tonight. Pretty sure. I mean, besides me. At least I hope I'm the first one here tonight. You're welcome. Goodbye. You got me good. Okay, what is... I don't know if I can kind of split this up the way I want to. It's definitely not polygon. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, like, I'm not going to be streaming for that long either, so yeah, it's okay if you're only hanging out for a short amount of time. It's not like I have a quota for viewers to, you must watch exactly 32-minute chunks or more. Eat the acoustic foam. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that. It probably wouldn't taste very good, and I'd get weirded out by the texture. So, at least not tonight. I don't know. Maybe it would make your burp silent. Oh, jeez. Maybe. 200 IQ plays. I actually don't know what my IQ is. I forgot. Not that it's really important, but I think it's kind of interesting to know those types of things, even if it's just for fun. Aha! I think I did it. IQ starts with a 2. Is it 200? Because I mean, like, and it ends with a 2 because it's 2. Aw, don't be so hard on yourself. Could have been 202 or 22. Don't think 200 has ever happened. I mean, like, in my opinion, you know, you have to be... Everyone's, like, good at different things, you know? Like, just because someone has a high IQ doesn't mean, like, they are smart at everything. You can be smart in different ways. There is such a thing as muscle memory, you know? And, like for me, for example, like, I have a master's degree. I can't remember people's names. It's just how it happens. Isn't IQ also based on the average intelligence of, you know, a person or something like that? So it's always, like, kind of in flux anyways. My degree is not in acoustic foam, although I do have a lot of it. I don't know if I really need this much foam, because as much as you see, like, back there, I have some on, like, the other side as well. So I got a degree in mathematics. So, because I got my bachelor's degree in applied mathematics, and then I'm like, hey, I'm kind of good at this. Maybe I'll try for a master's degree. And if I don't get, you know, any sort of scholarships or anything for it, maybe I just won't do it, because, you know, I couldn't really afford a master's degree to pay it on my own, so yeah. Luckily, it ended up working out, and I, met a lot of really cool people, learned a lot about mathematics, so it was a fun time. I have not watched... I think I watched one episode of Stranger Things, but I didn't watch the rest yet. I have, like... I watch a lot of TV with my dad, because it's kind of, like, our thing. We just, like, kind of, like, watch TV to kind of... Because we have a lot of similar interests when it comes to TV programming. But it is on my list of things to watch, which admittedly is a very long list, but it is on there. I know season 3 just came out, and I know it's all on Netflix, I believe, so I could just watch it, but I don't know. If I watched every TV show I wanted to watch, no one would see me for like 3 months. How many digits of pi do I know? I think it was like 10, because it's like 3.14159265545. I think. Maybe that's rounded. I'm glad you enjoyed Stranger Things. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it with my dad at some point. We got a lot of backlogged shows though, but I'll definitely make it a point to do it before the end of time. Which, now that I say that out loud, it sounds like, I'm just really tired and I'm not the best at trying to say things in a joking manner right now. Yeah, just, I mean, there's kind of pros and cons to, like, spacing it out. Because if you, like, space out your TV shows, you can you can digest it a little bit better. But there's nothing saying you have to do it, like, that, like once a week or something like that. Like, you could do it in chunks. Yeah, so I forgot where I was going with that. But there's definitely been times where my dad, I just couldn't wait to watch a show, and then before I knew it, he watched the entire season of something. Because I think, like, it was The Walking Dead. It was like, I watched the first episode with him, and then the next time I saw him, he was caught up for, like, 4 seasons. I'm like, I thought we were watching this together. And it's like, we never said that. I was just like, I felt betrayed. Like we had missed out on something. But then I didn't really mind as time went on. And now it's over, I'm pretty sure. No, wait, no, it's not. Walking Dead's not over yet. Each season is one story. It's all so connected, and each episode just flows right into the next. I think that's just... I have no father. No, I still have a father. I'm just more disappointed. Yeah. Okay. So that's actually probably good design for a TV show to be it's kind of like it was designed to be binge watched almost. Season 10. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of seasons. That's a lot of zombies. A lot of zombies to watch out for. 3 Walking Dead movies? Okay. I mean, I think, like, at this point, zombies are, like, in television, are kind of being overused. Or, at the very least, it doesn't have that same, like, oomph to it that it originally had in, like, season 1. Probably a lot of zombies, but after so long, it's probably mostly people whining in personal conflict. I mean, you gotta make it a little more interesting than just like, hey, there's a zombie. Why don't we shoot it? I don't know. I should actually do some game dev stuff for a little bit. Maybe? I don't know. I like chatting with you guys. When I read that, Rick, I'm gonna kill you, like that line you said, I just kind of read it a little too fast, and I just read it as, Rick, I'm gonna roll you. And I was like, it just... I don't know. Like, that's a pun I'm never gonna give up on. So I think what we want to do is we want to make an object here. Oops. So we want to make this as... Oh. Oh, I can just rename it here. There we go. Yeah, this is just... I'm trying to be at least slightly... Well, we did make some progress. So, I don't know. It was productive anyways. Yeah, so basically just trying to figure out what to do next. Although, then again, if I start this now, I'm just gonna be up much later trying to like figure out how it works, like how to make it works, how to make it work. So I'll leave and you can have what you want. Well, I want $1 million. So, I mean, if you want to leave and I'll get $1 million, I'm cool with that. You can always come back later if you want. I think it's fun talking to people. It makes it a little bit more fun. That was a sentence. What do I want to call this? Let's call... Oh, wait. We'll just call that item. I'm just gonna check something real quick. I'm reading your comments out of the corner of my eye. $11 million, huh? You get $1 million, but the person you hate most gets $10 million. Do you do it? Oh, did you? Maybe I didn't notice. Let me scroll back and look. I mean, I do have, you know, a chatbot, you know, that catches a lot of language stuff. Because I try and make it so that it's like a PG-13 chat. So, or at least that's what I'm going for, because I want to make sure, like, a lot of people can, oh, you did just WTF. That's okay. Just don't spell it out. Yeah, it's like, it's mainly the, you know, mainly like the really nasty stuff. You can test it if you want, but I do have, some like timeouts. I think it's like 10. Let me check. Before you do anything, let me check to see, some of the stuff I have here. Yeah, so I got some of them are just purging. Some of them are just 10 minutes. 10 minutes is just the max right now. But I can always change it. And I believe I can just what is might goof up if you're inebriated. Well, I can always, like, if you want to test it out, I can, like, make sure that you're not, really being timed out for the 10 minutes if it's, like, something really up there. It should just get purged pretty much for the most part. Whoops. Okay. Alright, so that's what that does, I guess. Thanks for testing that. Probably, but I don't think that it's, I don't think I programmed repeat offenses like that, but it does kind of purge that. Yeah, it's best not to push it too much. But it's good to know that the bot's working. Honestly, I thought it would just purge the comment, not the whole chat there. So that might be something to kind of adjust. Alright, so yeah, that's good to know that's how that works. And I'll look into other options as well for mod stuff. Okay, do game stuff. Alright, you're the boss. So, I have this item here. And what do we do for the... Oh, you know what? Before we even get that far, let's, yeah, so let's... Ooh, I think I don't want that. Let's go to prefabs. Make a prefab for the item. So I think we do want the grid. Rectangle. So that seems fine. I think what I'm gonna do, can I just is this how this works? I don't know if this makes it so that it's child. Yeah, it's probably a child object there. I don't want it on there. I want it on the original one. Because what we want is we want the item to, you know, be dragged essentially from one spot to another. So what we'll need is we'll need to have a reference to that here. I don't know if this is gonna work the way I think it is. So maybe, okay, so what we'll do, we'll go to scripts. Well, okay, I'm going all over the place now. We don't need a box collider because we're not interacting with it. I don't think we need a mouse handler because mouse handler, I think we can pass the information through that we need. So I think this should be okay. So what we'll need is, like I said, we need a reference to the item. So I think we're gonna go into the mouse handler. Can we... Oh, I know exactly what we need. What we're going to do is we're going to add a component, a new script, and we are going to call this item. Sure. Did we do it? Yeah, okay, there it is. Jeez, that took a little while. Okay, and we will put this in scripts folder. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna copy some of this stuff from the other thing that we had. So we'll just copy that and go dupe it right in there. And let's change some of these things. So, for example, the item that we have is going to have a transform, a sprite renderer, and a grid. We don't really need to worry about the grid though. We just need to worry about transform and sprite renderer. So, don't need this. Yeah, just dupe it in there. And then we need some sprites. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. So let's change this name into dish type. Sure. Sprite renderer we'll call item sprite renderer. So we can say item location. For that, just rename it. I think that's all we really need. So let's save that. And let's, once this kind of reloads on the side, we have these things here. So let's take, oh, I guess we need a sprite. So let's use some of these sprites. Oh, how do I do this thing I want to do? Okay. Oh, okay. So if you look, each of these has a different index at the end from 0 to 15. And so this is going to kind of line up where we need it to be. So let's go to our prefabs here. Let's set this to just, ooh, why is that? Yeah, sure, it'll be negative 8.6. That doesn't really matter too much. Okay. And we will, I guess we want to change it in the prefab. Ooh, I just realized something. We should have had a default sprite of like just nothing, basically. So if there's no item, then there shouldn't be anything that needs to be, you know, displayed. That's okay. We can fix that another time. Mask interaction, don't need to worry about that. So that's just going to be the default. So let's just put this at sure, we'll do that. Okay, so we'll put nope. Let's go to the prefab. And now we can do our things with it. All of the things. Oh. Okay. I already forgot what I called that thing. What did I call it? Item. Neat. Okay. So now, by putting these in here, we change the default settings. And that's really what we want. Do we really need that to be public, though? I don't know. Maybe we'll change that later. For now, okay. So if we go to prefab item, okay, let's look at the code now. So it's got these references to the transform, so we can work with the position, we can work with the sprite renderer, and we can work with the sprite, although I don't really know if we need this. Question mark, question mark, question mark. If we're looking at this, oh, I see. I did this so that I can change the sprites really easy, but I think that should be fine. So without doing any code there, what happens if we just run it as is? Cool. It's a fork. Okie doke. That is good. So what we're gonna do is we will create we will have, so the box collider 2D is going to be for the menu box, and the target location, and that is going to be for the, it should be for the actual item, not for the box. So let's make a reference, public item, the item, because that is a creative name. What is the item's name? It's the item. And then from there, let's just create all these errors. Alright, so we don't need to worry about that. Drag begin. So instead of target location, we will do the item dot dot what? .com. I don't know what that website actually is, so... okay. The item dot what? Get a component. Actually, you know what? I know an easy way to fix this. We'll just undupe that. Save that. Save this. So what we're gonna do is we're going to just kind of, so this item, yeah, okay, so let's look at the item box. Put it in there, or the item there. You better be duping. I'm duping my best over here. Oh, okay. So I can just drag and drop the prefabs there. What do I do for a living? That's a good question. I am trying to find a new job, actually. I'm trying to become a data analyst. And for now, I'm just kind of doing a couple of part-time jobs, but I'm really hoping to kind of get into that field. It's something I kind of decided on recently because, honestly, even with my master's degree, I am not really the best with, like, finding jobs. Because, you know, job hunting is kind of hard for me. Not that it's that I'm not a good candidate, it's just that I have trouble just, you know, I guess just motivating myself to find positions. So I'm trying to get into the data analyst type position, which I think would be a good fit for me. I just have to kind of send out some more applications. It's kind of one of the reasons why I haven't been streaming as much as I'd like, because I want to try and put aside time for applying for jobs. So, and it is something I have to kind of prioritize a little more, to be honest. But if only people would approach us instead. Actually, it's a funny thing you mentioned that. Pretty much all throughout college, there's only, like, my very first job that I had, I applied for, and it was a dishwashing position, and I got the job. And then I applied for a dishwashing position at my college. I got that. Surprise. It doesn't really require too much skill to be a dishwasher. But ever since that point, I've kind of had that situation happen to me where because it's all jobs through the university and they want to make sure you have qualified people. So it's pretty much just been like, I check my email one day and I find like, hey, you should try applying for this type of position. And I said, okay. And so I did. And that's how I got a tutoring position. I became like a teaching assistant. I became like a lecturer at a university for a little while. And then I realized I didn't really want to do that. So that kind of fell apart there. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. It's like... It's been a little weird because now like I have to adjust to the fact that obviously that's not happening anymore. And I don't mean to like, sound like I'm entitled or anything, because I don't. I think I was just like right place, right time kind of thing. Tutoring. I tried to think of like a pun to go along with that, but I didn't. Couldn't squeeze it out in time. Yeah, so basically I'm trying to find a full-time position somewhere, because part-time jobs can only get you so far. Ooh. But yeah, I really do love like math and programming and stuff like that, because I think it's really cool. Okay, so I think... Oh, wait, I didn't actually do anything with that. Whoops, okay. So, basically... Sorry, I forgot to close that window there. So I was trying to do some drag and drop stuff. And it ain't working so hot. Had a job for 5 years. 4 were hourly. Then I finally got put on part-time. Still really not viable, but I feel I'm stuck and I can't find the drive to change it. Oh, that kind of stinks. I mean, it kind of depends on what your field is, but I think that you can always benefit from learning something new. So even if it's just taking like a class at a community college to learn something new, so it's, it helps keep you a little motivated. Like, you're not stuck in a rut. So that's just, I don't know, a little advice, perhaps. Went to community college before you started working. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, maybe one thing you could try doing is maybe you could try finishing that degree that you were going for. But again, I don't know like your life circumstances or anything, so obviously it's your choice if you'd like to do that or not. But if you're looking for... Oh, what the heck? What did I just do? Oh, I gotcha. I think like nowadays it's very it's like very competitive for for jobs. So yeah, student debt is a big thing for me too. It is not fun to be in debt. So when I went to college, I did absolutely everything I could to try and minimize my debt as much as possible. So that's one of the reasons why I worked through college by just doing just working, essentially, just doing stuff usually on campus because it was more convenient. But I think that it kind of helped out a little bit because for my line of thinking was that why would I try and just apply for scholarships that I might get when I could work and be guaranteed that I'd be getting money, income, and also I would have something more to put on my resume that I can use possibly for future jobs. So that was my kind of line of thinking. So so that's basically what I was thinking there in terms of that sort of thing. The guy in that, I don't think I saw that movie. I'm not really a big movie person for the most part. But, oh, it was that movie. I gotcha. Fake a college and then turn it into a real college? I was kind of interested in seeing that movie. And then I didn't see that movie. So, no real reason why. Actually, I think I just kind of forgot about it, to be honest. That's okay. I mean, I'll just have to fix the bot later is all. So, and I mean, it's not like there's many ways you can use that, and you weren't using it in like an offensive way. So that's the most important thing right there. Because there's a difference when you're using some words like in different contexts. So like, if you're, I don't know how to use a good example for this sort of thing, but if you're like, you just don't want to be a jerk, basically. So that's like my number one rule for life. Just don't be a jerk, and most things will work out fine. The sentence enhancer makes everything sound fancier. So fancy that bots will ban you from chat. So what am I trying to do? I don't want to go for too much longer just because I'm starting to get really tired. 24-hour game jam? I don't think I have 24 hours free in a row for, like, anything. Except maybe breathing. But I can do that in my sleep. So what is this? Yeah, there's a reason why I chose this game jam that's 2 weeks long. It's because I don't have much free time. Maybe... Ooh, hold up. Hold up. this right here. Let's actually, this is the prefab here. What we're gonna do, we are going to choose. So we don't really want these to be referencing the other prefab. We want it to be referencing a specific object. So for example, this is the original item box, OGIB, original item box. I don't know. We're gonna set these manually, which is probably gonna suck. We're gonna put that there, and we're going to use the item, transform, sprite renderer. Now, let's see what happens. Oops. Well, I messed up there. Well, it's okay. So, despite the fact the fork turns into a box, it's still dragging it along there. And then we just have to do something to say, hey, if we would release it in a spot that is not occupied by a box, just snap it back. And also fix that glitch there. So let's go to the script. Ah, dang it. I hate the fact that I can't just capture my screen without dipping down to like 15 FPS. So let me show you what I was talking about like 12 seconds ago. So when I play this, so I can still like drag and drop it, although it kind of turns into a green square. And then when I drop it, it turns into a box. That's just a display thing, so I could still just kind of work through there. And I think if I do any other ones, yep, it's gonna give some errors. 13 errors. Because there is nothing there. That's fine. So this we'll have to kind of work a little bit to fix. So instead of menu box, we'll call this item sprite. Item sprite renderer. Oops. We'll also have one for itself. So that's just going to be for the menu box. So in theory, it shouldn't change the sprite at all. So there we go. So it's still behind things, which is not what we want. But I can still drag and drop. It's not aligning to the grid, though. Throwing errors here. The variable menu box SR. Dorp. All right, I did an oops. To the prefabs folder. So let's just should be an easy fix. Fixed. Should be anyways. Yeah, see, it was literally just that one thing. I've just forgot to connect the dots, basically. Okay, so now that that is taken care of, how do I do that thing I want? And these are all at... Ooh, hold up. Don't I want this on a layer? Do I want... how do layers work? Is this the thing I want? Layer ignore raycast? I don't know if that's what I wanted. UI? Maybe? Why does it go... Okay, so we just gotta figure out like the right... Can we just add a layer? Alright, I think we added a layer. There's just layers and layers of fun here. I actually am enjoying this a lot, though. So, and should be good. Now, if this fixed it, should be all above everything, which it's not. Okay. behind everything. So maybe I'll just, excuse me, label that as boxes for now. Put item box. Wait, did I? So these all layer boxes. Okay. So I think, let's see how that works. Dang it. What happens if these are switched? Drand and drop. I didn't even catch the N. Like, that D's not supposed to be there. Let's change that to the G. Oh my gosh. Okay. Maybe that's a sign we should be stopping soon. Oh, wait. I know what the problem is. Crack the case, guys. It's not with layers. It's because, I'll show you in a moment. So let's just set these back to default because that doesn't matter. The problem was actually with the script. So if we look at this, so look at what happens when, where is it? Right here. We create a new vector with a certain X and Y position, but the Z position is set to 0. Because it's set to 0, and if you notice, let me pull up just a thing on the side here. So if I just look at the prefab for the item box, the Z value by default is -2.55. So because it's negative, that means it's in front. And so the positive ones means it's just layers and layers back from the screen. So what we really want to do is go to here, and we just want to change Z value to be something like -10. So it guarantees it's up in front. And now what we'll do is we'll go to the item. We'll make sure -10 is the default Z value. These don't matter as much because they're all like negative 3.3. All these boxes. There might be an easier way to do this, but I'm not doing it that way. For now. So now, no. Did I not do the right thing? I hear a cat. Hey, Simon. You want to say hi, or are you just looking for spiders to eat? Nope. Don't want to say hi? Alright. Bye, Simon. It's one of my cats, Simon. So what's going on with the Twitch categories? Kind of looked away for a moment. You know what we should do, like, really soon? Should save this? 'Cause I didn't do that tonight. Oh, you didn't know science and technology was a category? Apparently it is. They got all sorts of stuff. Saving is important. So why didn't that work? Did I miss something? Ooh. Okay, so easy fix. So I set it at the end of the drag to change the X, Y, and Z value, but for here it's using the raycaster, so whatever it's hitting, in this case it's the background layer, which I set to be something like positive 10. So it's setting the Z value to positive 10 because it's hitting that value. So, solve that problem. I'm super confident this is gonna work. Oh, whoops. Okay, well that's still kind of cool. But I think just by copy and paste, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to think about maybe using that. We don't need the rounding on the dragging. That should be perfectly fine now. I mean, it did work. It was above everything. It just also snapped to the grid a little more than I needed it to. There we go. So that's going to give some errors because technically this is the only one that has the item in it. So I think the next step would be to drag this, or rather we take being able to drag it and then drop it, when we drop it, say, hey, this thing that is a box should have the item in it. Therefore, let me put a reference to this particular thing so that it can also use it now. I think we can do that pretty quickly before we run into tons of bugs. Okay, on beginning the drag, it's fine. On the dragging, okay, fine. On the end drag, that's what we need to do. So now what we'll do is we will say first off, so the last thing we want to do is we want to set the item close off the reference there. So, okay, sets the location. Then we want to say event data dot pointer current raycast dot game object we're almost there. What do we want? Okay, so what I want is to say, hey, when we end the drag, if it is above an object of mouse handler type, then we can do the exchange. So that means we need an if statement here. So really, what we need to do is change this if statement into a different one. Because we don't really care at this point if it's off screen, because now we're limiting it further. We're limiting it to having another box, essentially. So we want if event data dot pointer current raycast dot game object. This returns. So if this is not null, so if it hits something, and if dot, what do we want here? So if we get the type, and this type is a mouse handler. Mouse handler is a type. So something's not working out here. I'm looking at possible fixes here. Oh, actually, let me look at mess. Game object does not. So we have two different errors here. So we have this. Wait, do I just... So how do I set this to null? Ooh. Oh. I see what happened. This is why. Because I didn't finish that. I just said, hey, let's put it in the right spot. So let's finish that. We don't need that here. Okay, so what is the fix here? Okay, so maybe... So I'm going to... I'm going to use one of these options here. That doesn't actually change anything. Of course, I just have to dupe it. Clearly that is the solution to all of our problems. Just dupe it. I should also be going to sleep. But I don't know. I really want to get this part done at least. Oh, actually, we're not going to be having any null pieces here. So maybe what we'll do is, yeah, maybe we should just do this another time. So we'll just kind of change that back, and we'll fix that another day. Alrighty, have a nice night, Poochzors. I think I'm gonna head off too, actually. So let's just save that. Just do a quick check. See if we can fix any, or if things aren't completely broken, and if it's not, then we'll just kind of end things off there. Yeah, that's working fine. We can kind of connect some of those things a little bit later. So thanks for hanging out. I'll try and do. I'm pretty free tomorrow. I should be anyways. So I'll try and do another stream. Try and wrap up some more loose ends, and hopefully we'll get this menu system up and running properly. So yeah, and then once we do that, then we can really start getting into like some of those mechanics, you know, the game mechanics for that game. Okay, so I think I'm gonna just wrap things up here. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.